Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. I'm Mike Amos. He's Bill Rice Jr. And we're expecting to hear from Mike Amos in Drayton Beach, Florida this morning. And also, if you're out there, we'd love for you to call in and talk to us this morning. Give us your idea of who is going to go through this bracket here that is going to win the national championship in basketball. And I reckon Rice, it'd be easy to pick Gonzaga, but I don't know. It's a long road
Well, they've never
play.
won a national championship, so they're always in the top brackets, top seeds, but I don't ever remember them winning a national championship. I like Gonzaga. So.
I do too. I like them too. And pick another team. I just can't. I can't pick one. To tell you the truth.
You know, and I don't. In college football, I watch as many games as I can. In college basketball, I don't watch any of these other games. Do you? I mean, so I don't. I don't know anything about any of these other teams. I would just have to listen to the other experts.
Well, Alabama, of course, has a very good basketball team. A lot of people have got them going a long ways in the tournament. But never can tell. This team from up east, coached by Rick Pitino, might upset Alabama.
That's right.
And, of course, that's Gonzaga easily number one. They're 24-0 on the year and, 26-0.
So you got to win 6 games to win the national championship, so they can finish 32-0. Who was the last Division I team to go undefeated and win a national championship?
Indiana. I just heard somebody hoopla about it.
Well, I remember that the only game that they was competitive that they could have lost was against Alabama.
Well,
that was probably the best Alabama basketball team
I
ever.
remember that.
With Leon Douglas and Anthony Murray.
I want to say that Indiana.
T.R. Dunn.
I want to say in that game, if I can remember, and it's a long time ago, Indiana guy took the ball away from Alabama guy and drove length of the court, or from half court on, and beat Alabama.
Yeah, I remember. I was a little kid, but I remember that Alabama had a chance to win that game with about a minute left in the game.
That's right. Back then, Alabama was a very, very good program, and a lot of people don't give them as much
respect
as a chance. Let's see here. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, morning.
How you doing? Mike Amos calling in from Drayton Beach this morning. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I think it's about to start raining down here. We've got, I think, the whole state of Tennessee down here for spring break. And I was in Pensacola over the weekend, and there yesterday morning, and they didn't have near the crowd. So apparently they have a bridge out coming from Pensacola Beach due Sally, the hurricane that's, I guess, affecting people being able to travel over, go to that downtown area where I was staying. But had a good time over in Pensacola, a lot of fun there. I was very impressed. I had no idea they had so much to do in their downtown area.
Yeah.
My little brother lived in Pensacola for about a decade. They enjoyed it. They lived in Pensacola, then they moved to Gulf Breeze, which is even closer to the beach.
Yeah. Went through Navarre Beach yesterday. I'd never been over there either, and drove by. It's a pretty area as well. I didn't realize they had all those big high-rise condominiums over there.
Oh yeah, no question about it. We had friends of ours that lived over there.
I got engaged at Pensacola Beach. Bobby had a beach condo that he used sometimes, and then he rented it out other times, like a lot of people. And he let me have it for a weekend, and that's where I proposed to Carrie, on the balcony of Bobby's beach house. It's the last condo unit on the left at going down Pensacola Beach.
I didn't know they did it. I didn't know they did it like that anymore.
What do you think's gonna happen with this Troy Alabama game? Looks like some rain is going to stop around 7 o'clock. I don't know what time they're supposed to play, but Troy's supposed to play Alabama in baseball tonight.
Yeah. I got a feeling if Alabama can get out of it, they will. Right now,
I mean,
it's sprinkling.
When they went to Tuscaloosa, when y'all went up and went on y'all's barbecue tour, let's see, Alabama, I think had one loss. I think they still only have one loss. Troy was 7-1. Troy is 8-8 now. Isn't that correct?
That's right. They've lost 5 in a row, I think.
Well,
Tulane,
6 in a row.
Tulane just blew them out.
They were good. Hey, Tulane had a good team, Mike. They really did.
I mean, is it just all pitching for Troy? I guess they have no pitching.
I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, they've got young pitching and people throwing hard, and I think a lot of it has to do with the competition. Southeastern Louisiana was really good, and now
Tulane, Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, but I mean, Tulane was 500 coming in. Southeast Louisiana was around 500 when Troy played them. I mean, I don't think any teams were having like a unbelievable starts to the season.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of surprised. I felt like when you had this many returning players, and then you brought in a lot more pitching, I just figured Troy would get off to a better start. But they're basically, I think last year they finished 9-8 before COVID happened, and this year they're running into the same issues.
Yeah.
Baseball's a streaky game, though. You can they can get it together and put together 5 or 6 wins in a row, and then let's win these conference games.
Yeah. And
of course, I missed yesterday that Alabama LSU game. I was watching it in a bar or restaurant on Pensacola Bay, and man, that was an exciting finish to say the least.
yeah,
I thought for sure when he put that foot back in, they were going to beat Alabama. I mean, that was a gimme.
exactly what happened. I didn't see the game.
End of the game, Alabama was up by 1, and LSU Wofford, who scored 30 points to get out of Mount Brook, the phenom player.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
State championships, played the game of his life against his in-state, school, and he shot it up a 3 air ball, but LSU got tipped it from literally 1 or 2 feet, and it went in and out, and then Herb Jones kind of blocked the other shot, and Alabama won. But what an unbelievable basketball season for Alabama. Tell you what, I own it though, with Rick Pitino. I looked at their roster yesterday. So they got a lot of good-looking athletes and a lot of size for a smaller school. That's a really tough 2-15 matchup.
I know, yeah. When you got Rick Pitino as the coach, that gets your attention too.
Just him being on that other bench is going to give them 5 points or more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's no sure thing victory by any means, I don't think.
I mean, I know Rick Pitino's 75 years old probably now, or I don't know.
I think it may be older than that.
Early 70s, but I still remember Rick Pitino in Providence beating Alabama with that great team that year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. That Alabama plays any other team in the country on that day, they have a good chance of winning, but they weren't going to beat Providence that day.
I tell you what, I felt for Westwood in the golf tournament. I know y'all probably talked about all this yesterday, but man, 47 years old and playing that well back-to-back weeks, and Thomas, came out of nowhere with that 64 on Saturday, and Thomas shot 4 under again the next day. Usually you don't see a guy come back and have another good round after such a great round, but kudos to Lee Westwood. I didn't realize he won the Player of the Year on the European Tour last year.
Yeah, he's been playing real well, no question.
And his wife was caddy. Did y'all know that?
Yeah, they mentioned that on the telecast. I watched most of that tournament.
Well, I wonder if that works out pretty good because
Thomas won $2.7 million. Lee Westwood won $1.6.
I know.
I guess when you have your wife as caddy, you don't have to pay her the 10% gratuity.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure you pay her another way. I'm sure she.
Yeah, well, she gets a lot of that 1.8. If I was a pro golfer, I would be different. I wouldn't have all these logos on my shirts and hats. I'd wear my Alabama or Troy hat, and then I would get some little high school kid or caddy that worked at the local club to caddy for me. And then I'd say, hey man, I'll give you $250, $500 maybe.
Well, they get 10%, don't they?
And then I would be able to keep a lot more of my money.
Yeah.
And then people would say, that guy is different.
Ooh, how does that work? 10% of
2.7 million, 270,000. I don't know if they get 10%, but
I think it's right. Something like that. I don't know though. I really don't know.
I would imagine each caddy and each golfer have their own
arrangement.
You know, of course, who gets what.
You can
Tell you
needless.
what, if you're a caddy for Justin Thomas, you made a lot of money.
If you're a caddy for one of the elite top 20 players, you do very, very well.
Yeah, you're right. And you know, Westwood, it looks like he's in good condition, and that's what you got to be, because see, you're walking. You know, that 48-year-old is walking up
a
and
lot
down
of
hills.
and there's a lot of distance between a lot of holes.
And you know, some of these courses are, you know, they don't mention it on the air, but a lot of these courses are real hilly.
That's right.
And
you don't. TV doesn't pick that up. I've never been to Augusta like Will's been.
Yeah.
53
It's
times.
hilly. It's pretty hilly.
But
too.
I hear everybody that goes says that what strikes them is how hilly it is, and the elevations in the fairways and on the greens.
Yeah, it is. It's the whole town of Augusta. It's like these little rolling hills.
How far are we away from Augusta? How many weeks?
Couple.
April 6th through the 8th.
Oh, this won't be far. Won't be long at all. It'll be a lot of fun to watch.
I enjoyed it during the fall.
Yeah.
They're going to allow the members and their families to watch, and then I guess the family members of the players, and that will be it.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, the Players Championship must have had 20,000 at least.
Yeah, I knew they'd have a lot.
Did that make a big difference on TV? Having...
Oh yeah, watching it for sure. Yeah, I enjoyed seeing fans again.
What percentage of the?
I tell you what, PGA Golf has gotten it right. They did a great job as soon as this happened, and I mean, I'm not that I'm already a huge supporter of golf, but man, I'm even a bigger supporter now.
And you don't even play, do you? Or hardly?
No, I love to watch it though. I've always gotten into. I mean, I was a huge, still I'm a huge Mickelson fan, and I like Tom Watson a lot. And then I've really become a big Justin Thomas fan as well. So.
You're like me. I don't play anymore. I used to play a lot, and but I just know a lot of people that are huge golf fans. They don't even play golf. My father was a big golf fan. Even my grandmother, Lucy Rice, huge golf fan, and they never played golf. But they
amazing. But you're right. There's a big fan base out there, and
I can remember,
like you say now, people you can wager on golf. I've never done any of that.
Oh, it's fun. They got so many. You can bet odds like a prize fight. So and so's 30-1 underdog against Mike Tyson. Well, you can look at the whole field and you get odds that they'll win the tournament, and then they change those odds after every round, and then you can bet on who wins the matchup of the two players that are paired together. You can bet on who's going to finish in the top 5, the top 10, the top 20. You can bet on who's going to make the cut and who's not going to make the cut. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. I told Mike the other day that Justin Thomas was one of the favorites going into the tournament, but after his Friday round, when he barely made the cut, you could get Justin Thomas to win the players for 50-1 odds. So you could have made a $10 bet on Friday night and won $500.
And Rice did that, Mike.
No, I didn't. Don't say that on there.
Well, I tell you what, it's pretty smart, to do that. And,
well, I thought that Justin Thomas, if you follow his career, he can knock out a 64, 65, no trouble, a super low round. And so I thought, it's in him. He can go 7, 8 under par one day, and he did it.
I was going to mention we got basketball tonight. We got the play-in games tonight.
Are they tonight, Mike?
Yeah, they're today. Actually, this afternoon at 4:10, all these games we played up in Indianapolis. Texas Southern out of the WAC, not the WAC, but SWAC, will be playing Mount St. Mary's. Mount St. Mary's is a 1-point favorite. Texas Southern is coached by a familiar name, former LSU player and coach Johnny Jones. Of course, Johnny Jones was assistant at Alabama. He also was a coach at North Texas when North Texas beat Troy by 3 and went to the NCAA tournament. After that, on TBS, you got Drake playing Wichita State. These are all the play-in games in the NCAA tournament. And then after that, no respect for the Sun Belt whatsoever.
Oh, I know it.
Has to play a play-in game against Norfolk State. Norfolk State's a 3-point favorite. And then after that, late night, around 9 o'clock, UCLA.
That's going to be a good one.
Traditional programs, UCLA and Michigan State. UCLA is a 2-point favorite. Also, you got the NIT tonight. You got North Carolina State playing Davidson on ESPN at Davidson, and then you got SMU at Boise State tonight on ESPN. So a lot of basketball games.
Oh, that's right. You're exactly right. But what made me think these games were on Thursday, Mike?
Well, guys, you got to do the play-in games to get to the final 64.
Yeah, but all right.
But so the regular tournament doesn't start until they finish these play-in games.
But the regular tournament proper, most games start Thursday, and then they'll play Thursday and Saturday, those teams, and then...
Well, I think it's going to start later. Alabama doesn't play till Saturday.
Yeah.
So they're doing Saturday, Monday then.
And do you know, let me tell you this. I'm going to that game. I'm going to that game. Yeah, I'm going to the Alabama game.
That's breaking news.
That's right. That's breaking news. I'm going to the Alabama game.
You can get some tickets?
I've already got tickets and everything. Yes, sir.
Wow.
And, I've done that a lot with him, with my good friend Johnny Williams. I've gone to Final Fours all over this country and gone to a lot of regional tournaments. And he called me up and said, hey, let's go, and I'm ready,
You ever go to the legendary Hinkle Field House, which is what they based the movie Hoosiers off of?
We're going.
Play the championship game.
Oh, cool.
We're going to the where Butler plays. We're on Butler University.
Y'all going to drive up there?
Yeah.
How long does it take to drive?
8 hours.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Probably straight up 65.
And, yeah, that's right. And we hope to watch 2 games. We hope Alabama win that first game, and then win the second game. So we'll.
Have I ever told you my story?
I tell you what, there's not many tickets allowed. Y'all are very, very lucky with not being family.
I'll tell you, I have been to a Sweet 16 game. I think it's a funny story. My friend, the late Charles Bradshaw, and I were at college at Alabama, and the basketball team made the Sweet 16 like they always do. And one night, crazy night, we said, well, let's go. We barely had any money, but we scrounged up enough to get a ticket, and we flew to Denver, Colorado, and we watched Alabama play North Carolina State, coached by Jim Valvano. Saw Jim Valvano get off the bus. And their star player was Spud Webb, the 5'7" point guard, and North Carolina State beat Alabama by about 7 points. Pretty tightly contested game. And as it turns out, I had run out of money and didn't have enough money to fly back to Tuscaloosa.
Oh, gosh.
So I had to scrounge up money, barely made enough to get a Greyhound bus ticket from Denver to Tuscaloosa while
God.
Charles flew back. And
He left you behind? He wouldn't ride the bus with you?
no. And
That's hilarious.
so that's really the only time I've seen the mid part and western part of America. I saw it on the Greyhound bus, and that was an educational experience. Took me about 36 hours on that bus to get back to Tuscaloosa.
Unless this Final Four bracket is correct, it says the first 4 will play Thursday, March the 18th. Is that Thursday, March 18th? Thursday, March the 18th is when they play those games, Mike.
No, I don't know why. When I clicked on basketball, I thought it was tonight, but I guess it is.
Yeah, check that out because I'm looking at it.
Well, it's a change.
Thursday, March the 18th.
All the other years, they usually run the tournament started on Thursdays and Fridays, and then you got teams that gets you some weekend TV action on Saturday and Sunday. But I guess that changed it.
The NIT will start Wednesday night. So yeah, I don't know, when I clicked on basketball, I assumed it was tonight.
Yeah.
It was on Scores and Odds for today.
But there'll be 4 games today. That's a lot of basketball, you know.
Well, now, I mean, it's not going to be now until Thursday. You're right. But the NIT starts tomorrow. Toledo against Richmond. Richmond's a 2-point favorite. Then heartbreak city for Coach Cunningham and Coach Grant. I mean, West Kentucky.
Did they make it?
Beat QAB. And this is the West Kentucky team that won at Alabama, and keep that in mind, and won at Memphis. They're down 17-0 to North Texas. And North Texas had to play 4 games in the Conference USA tournament. Western Kentucky comes all the way back from 17 down, takes a 7-point lead with 2 minutes left, had a 5-point lead with 1 minute left, and North Texas hits the 3 and goes to overtime and then just dominates Western Kentucky, which was shocking. Western Kentucky's got a big guy named Charles Bassey, a 7-foot guy that's going to be a lottery pick in the NBA draft. And Coach Cunningham and Coach Grant, of course, they are assistants for Rick Stansberry, lose their chance to go to the NCAA tournament and are now in the NIT.
That would have been huge. But they are in the NIT, though, aren't they?
Well, yeah, because they won Conference USA.
Yeah,
It's
that's
heartbreaking loss to come all the way back from 17 down to go up by 8.
Yeah.
They still lost.
I hate that for Coach. Coach, I tell you, he's a good man. I liked him.
Yeah, Coach Cunningham and Coach Grant were at Troy for 6 years.
Guess who we've got on this show tomorrow, Mike?
Who's that?
Coach Cross.
Well, we got a lot of questions to ask. That was an interesting season with a lot of players that were in and out.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to find out.
Well, he's going to also give us a rundown on the Final Four and everything. I mean, of the brackets, and he's going to do that for us too. So it should be an interesting show tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it.
He will know of which he speaks.
But we've got him mainly to
Talk
take
about
a look
the
at these brackets.
You know, I was looking at, everybody thought Ole Miss was going to get in. And I watched them play LSU, and they took LSU down the wire. And I do think they had a good enough team to make the NCAA tournament, but I guess they just, figured out in the end they couldn't put them in.
Well,
How many SEC teams made it?
yeah, how many made it?
I believe 6.
Well, it's like the bowl season. It's always interesting to see which conferences do the best in the tournament.
But yeah, Florida, Tennessee, you had Alabama, Arkansas, LSU. Then I'm drawing a blank. Who would do that 16?
All right, you had LSU, Missouri.
Tennessee, you get Tennessee?
You had Tennessee.
LSU, Tennessee, and Missouri out of the East.
Arkansas,
West.
out of the.
Out of the West, you had Alabama, LSU, and Arkansas.
That's it.
There you are on Zoom.
That's right. And you're on the Zoom, my friend. And that.
I can't see y'all, but I can see me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
I had changed since the last time I saw
I didn't even know what Zoom was until COVID hit a year ago, and now, man, Zoom stock must be going through the roof. Everybody's on Zoom.
I
right.
do meetings all the time on Zoom.
Well, that's good. That's good.
How does Zoom make their money?
Advertisements.
Really?
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about, Rick Pitino, the coach, ousted at Louisville after some recruiting problems. But Iona has had teams over the years that have been very competitive, Mike. They might give Alabama some trouble.
Oh, there's no doubt. I think this is a possible upset because Alabama's so streaky. I mean, if anybody watches them, if they're not only hitting their threes, everybody's going to play them tough.
Yeah. Did you know they only played?
I'll admit, when Shackford only scored 2 points and they beat Tennessee, I was just shocked that they won that game. And that was another great game. I don't know if I watched that one either, but that came down the wire. Tennessee was up by 9 at the half.
Oh, yeah. Alabama has to work very hard to get these wins, and they're real gritty.
Difference for Alabama. The Villanova transfer, Devon Quinterly, has been lights out down the stretch. He's probably Alabama's most consistent best player right now, and to have him and Shackford, and then Keon Ellis, this transfer, junior college transfer, junior college All-American, 6'6" kid that's really athletic, that's really playing well for Alabama right now too.
You notice? Did you notice who the head coach at Georgetown was?
Yeah, Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing, the great Patrick Ewing. And at one time, Patrick Ewing was the best player in America.
Yeah.
But back to talking about Rick Pitino and his team, they only played 13 games, Mike.
Yeah, they got hit hard. They got hit hard with COVID, where they just couldn't finish their schedule and play a lot of games.
So that's going to make a little bit of a difference too.
But I mean, there's only been a handful of times that two has lost to a 15 seed. So I guess one of these days, it can happen again. So
when it did happen, I think it's happened one time in
where a 1 lost to a 16.
That only happened when Maryland Eastern Shore beat Virginia.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the most shocking loss of all time.
Yeah, that was.
You'll see where Brian Hart's contract got released at Auburn. He's going to make $5.2 million.
Oh man,
golly!
He never seen that kind of money at where he was.
Yeah, I would have come to Auburn too. And, what he was thinking was, one, Auburn they're not competing for a national championship every year, but it seems like every 3 or 4 years they have a team where they can. I mean, they've won one national championship and they were in the championship game and almost won another. So really, Auburn could have had 2 national championships in the last 11 years. So that's pretty good. And then you also got, I think Nick Saban's getting ready to turn 70 years old. He's not going to be there for more than 4 or 5 more years. Yeah. Although Mike thinks he might be there for 10 more years.
Until he died, yeah.
So a lot of reasons to come to Auburn.
Yeah. And of course,
Auburn's offense coordinator looks like it's going to make Bobo. It's going to make $1.3 million a year as offense coordinator, and Derek Mason is going to make $1.5 million.
Oh gosh, oh man.
So Derek Mason gets fired at Vanderbilt, and then he lands on his feet at
that
Auburn.
Was what he was making at Vanderbilt, wasn't he? What was he making at Vanderbilt?
He probably made like close to $3 million, I would think, or high twos. Then Nick Easton, defensive line coach, and Will Friend, offensive line coach, will make $700,000 annually.
What does our Troy boy make? What does he make? Did it say?
Tigers running back coach Cardinal Williams will make $350,000.
That's a lot of money.
New Auburn quarterbacks coach Zach Effridge, who is from Troy, will make $315,000 his first year.
Zach Effridge, lend me some money, but Zach, lend me some money.
Zach is probably 29 years old.
And
what did I tell you? Mamas, let your kids play football, but let them become big time college assistant coaches one day.
And then Cornelius Williams, how good do you got to feel for him? He probably made, all the assistants at Troy and some make over $100,000. He probably made about $120 at Troy.
Yeah.
He's going to make $300,000 at Auburn.
I know it. And Zach Ettridge, I did not know he was a quarterback coach.
Cornerback.
Oh, I'm sorry, cornerback. I'm sorry. I thought you said quarterback. But that is a great job.
I wonder what the kid that was that's at Ohio State, that's from Charles Henderson's making as the quarterback coach at Ohio State.
What's
his Dennis?
Corey Dennis. He's got to be making them threes, I'm sure.
I
would imagine Ohio State's very competitive with their salaries.
Yeah, I would think he'd be making $500,000 or more.
I bet he will be a head coach in Division I in 10 years, for sure, if not sooner.
Well, I tell you. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Our history is woven with the stories of those we serve. At Max, we've been a good community partner for 65 years. Max is dedicated to providing dependable financial services and to supporting our communities. We volunteer our time and share our resources. As a credit union, we've returned millions of dollars back to our members, local nonprofits, and small businesses. Max is honored to be a part of your story. We look forward to serving you for years to come.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Debbie, I'm right here. Hello, Miss Mary. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here. Thank you.
Remarkable people, remarkable care.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they say Jackson Satisfaction, they really mean it.
The Jackson satisfaction is real.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Some kind of team that's going to upset everybody.
All right.
Back to our show.
Got all week to pick it.
Brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy, and boy, some great deals. And tell you what, yeah, Jason Gregory is one fine gentleman, and we're just so lucky to have him in Troy. He had done so many things for our community, and we appreciate it very much. Of course, I want to mention Troy Bank and Trust Company, the only bank you'll ever need, and we appreciate them.
Are you going to take your truck, or are you going to take Johnny's car up to?
Going to take Johnny's car. Johnny, this is Johnny's trip, and he invited me to go.
Yeah, Johnny's a professional driver, Bill.
He
loves it.
He could drive across the nation and it wouldn't bother him. It really wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. And
I like it.
Johnny and them were down in Key West the other day. I'll have to ask him all up.
Yeah. I'm Facebook buddies with his son. I guess he might have more than one son, but we
got two. And David and
he's got some interesting posts.
Andrew.
Is he the long driver?
Andrew's a long driver. We got a call coming in right here. Let's see here. Well, we got it. Good morning. You on today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. Will Matthews. What's up?
Yeah, well.
Let me put you on hold. Let's see.
We're going to bring you on here.
Let me see. Do I go to hold? There.
You got it. And good morning, Will. How you doing?
Doing great.
Will, can you believe that how much money this guy made? $2.7 million for that 72 holes of golf.
Well, that's pretty good.
I bet you that is more money in one tournament than Arnold Palmer made in purses in his whole career. On the PGA.
I don't know about that, but.
Well, I'll tell you this: it's more than
I tell you what, that course was the most perfect. I mean, just pristine. I mean, it was just gorgeous watching that tournament. I mean, the grass and the greens were just incredible. Yeah.
Colin McCrary was there from Troy.
Was Colin there?
Yeah, he was there all week. He's spotting for NBC Sports.
Yeah, I've enjoyed. What is it? Paul Azier is now in the booth. He replaced Johnny Miller, and he does a good job. I enjoy his commentary.
What do you think, Will? How do you like him?
I like him. He's from Bradenton, Florida.
Of course, he's big buddies with Tiger. Wasn't he real close friends with Tiger?
I don't know about that. O'Meara was real close with Tiger.
Now they say Justin Thomas is big buddies with Tiger.
Yeah, they're best of friends.
Justin, you
What'd you think about the tournament, Will? Were you kind of pulling for Westwood? It's kind of hard not to. 47 years old.
I was pulling for JT. I was pulling for JT the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas shoots the 64, comes out of nowhere. And, you know, a lot of names kind of slid on that last day. DeChambeau kind of disappeared. You had some other guys that were high up on that leaderboard. And then, of course, Farman, the kid out of Georgia, finished pretty strong.
He played a good round. Yeah, he did well.
I was definitely thinking it was going to come down to DeChambeau and JT and Westwood, but you know, DeChambeau couldn't figure out a way to score on Sunday.
But he is amazing. He's always around that top 10 mark. You know, he's a heck of a golfer.
A lot of people didn't pick him going into the tournament, figuring that he'd hit a lot of wild drives, and that wasn't good on this course with all the water. But he was right in contention.
Nicholson didn't play well. I mean, didn't play bad. He shot under par 3 straight days, and then
70, 71, 71.
Yeah, I think he finished 3 under in for the tournament. 35th place, not bad for a guy over 50.
Nope,
that's true.
We were talking about Westwood and how old he is. Will, you would think you've got to be real strong physically to walk 72 holes.
That's nothing for those guys, Mike.
Of course.
I need to mention Auburn starts football practice today, so Brian Hart's going to have his first spring. Of course, Troy's back practicing. I guess they started back yesterday, Dad?
I did. Excuse me, I'm yawning. I didn't see them yesterday, Mike, but you know, they had a big call in on the women's tournament, and I want to mention that Troy will play Texas A&M in San Antonio. Troy and Texas A&M in the first round of the women's NCAA championship.
What is Troy seeded?
They're seeded 15.
15, man.
I want to say 14 or 15. I want to say 15.
Well,
15.
Like, got to be a number 1 seed.
No, they would be 2 if Troy's 15. Well, we should have led the show with that. So congratulations to the Lady Trojans. What an accomplishment.
Oh, yeah. She has done a super job. I don't believe I've ever seen a team go to the boards and offensive rebounds any better than they do. They really go to the boards and get those putbacks.
Isn't that the 4th time that the women's team has made it to the Big Dance?
She is a great coach.
Michael, is that right? 4 times now?
Yeah, she's made it 3 times. Troy's 22-5. Texas A&M's 23-2. We'll face off Monday at 5 p.m. on ESPN2 at the University of Texas Frank Irwin Center in Austin. The Trojans and Aggies are joined in the Mercado region by number 7 seed Iowa State, number 10 seed Michigan State. The winner of each first-round game will advance to the second round with a spot in the Sweet 16 on the line. So good luck to the Lady Trojans. They're going to need it when they're playing a team that's 23-2 out of the SEC.
Oh, man. Do you think they got a chance?
No, they have no chance. I mean, let's be honest. When they played the bigger, you know, we talked about this before, Power 5 teams, I mean, they've been beaten by 30 and 40 points every time they made the NCAA tournament. Yeah.
This team, I think, is a little bit different. I think they'll play them a little bit tougher.
Yeah, Texas A&M was ranked 4th in the latest polls.
Oh, God.
You know, Alabama was ranked 5th in the polls. And they're the Aggies achieved their highest ranking in program history, going all the way to number 2, and we're a perfect 13-0 at home.
Yeah, that's a tough draw, man. I thought
that's
that they would.
Brutal draw.
I thought that with that record Troy had and winning the Sun Belt, that they would be at least a 14 seed and get.
You know, keep in mind Troy plays on Monday, and that Auburn job is open. The lady. You know, the women's program at Auburn has fired their coach. That is going to be an interesting possible hire if Rigby leaves Troy after, you know, an unbelievable run at Troy and takes the Auburn job.
How old is Coach Rigby?
I think she's only like early 50s.
I don't know. Her husband's the head coach at Eufaula High School.
Which is very close to Auburn.
Yeah. It's about 50 miles, something like that. And, of course, it remains to be seen, what happens.
I know, but I'm just saying that's kind of a intriguing story to all this. We keep on wondering when somebody's going to come get her. She's had such a great
exactly.
career at Troy.
Exactly, no question about it.
How about what about
you want that for your coaches? You wanted that for Neil Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Cornelius Williams. Cornelius Williams, receivers coach at Troy, come off his coordinator. Now he's receivers coach at Auburn. He played him at $180,000 raise going to Auburn.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How many players will Troy have coming back on the women's team next year? Do you know? Can they make it again next year? It looks like.
I'll have to look and see.
But it's paying your dues. You talk about Williams, Coach Williams. He paid his dues. He played at Troy for 4 years, and then he has coached there for at least 5 more. Hasn't he? How many years have he been there?
At where?
At Troy. Coach Williams, Cornelius Williams.
He's probably been in Troy all of Neil Brown's years. He's probably been in Troy 6 years.
Yeah, okay, so he's been there.
But before that, he was at UAB, and before that, he was at South Alabama.
I just keep making this point that if you can get into coaching after your career and then have a 20-year career, you're going to make so much more money than you would if you made it to the NFL, where your average career is 3 years.
Guys, Troy's women's team has 7 seniors on it, so they're going to be wiped out.
You're right. They're going to. That what makes them have a chance to play better. I don't know how much better they'll play, but it is a senior team.
Well, I wonder if they have that rule where you can play again next year because of COVID, like they do in football.
Will they do that, you think?
I don't know.
So Rigby's first job was at Northwest Rankin High School in Mississippi in 1992. She's a graduate from Southeastern Louisiana in 1990. So that means she was probably around 22 then. So she's got to be close to around 53.
She graduated from high school in 1990?
No, graduated college.
Okay.
So, I mean, she's still pretty young when it comes to coaching. She's won 560 games overall, 251 losses.
That is phenomenal.
28 seasons in coaching.
That is phenomenal.
Gosh.
Anytime you get over 500 wins.
Oh, I mean, it's tremendous. No question
That's
about it.
That's high school and college.
Yeah, well,
and she's been at Troy for how long? What year did she come to Troy?
9 seasons, and now she's been to 3 NCAA tournaments. And let's be honest, probably would have gone to the NCAA tournament last year. They were 24-5 when COVID shut them down.
Yeah, they definitely would have gone.
Or at least they've gone to NIT, because they won the conference championship outright.
So 3 trips and could have been 4 in 9 years at Troy University. I mean, you're right. That's.
Yeah, what do you think about the conference tournament championships? I feel like the NCAA has it all wrong. You ought to award the team for the 18 games they play. When you're the conference champion through 18 games, that's more of a test of when you deserve, that large bid to the NCAA tournament. A conference tournament is just all about when the team gets hot.
In the drawings.
Yeah.
Michael, I don't understand that. That's just totally backwards to me.
Michael, the reason they do that is because basketball is a tournament game. And if you have a team, say they lose 2 real good players early in the year and they have a bad regular season and they get them back for the tournament, then they've got a chance to go to the NCAA tournament if they win the tournament. You just about got to make the conference tournament your automatic qualifier for that reason, to give everybody that plays basketball a chance.
Well, the other reason...
People almost get more excited about winning the conference tournament than winning the regular season. I always look at the regular season as more.
What did they say? What did they follow the money? These tournaments get big TV contracts, and they can sell tickets to them But would there be any interest in the tournament if a big dance berth was not at stake? So they give the automatic bid to the tournament champion, and thus you have another moneymaker for the sport.
You know who the big winner Sunday was for Alabama basketball?
Who?
Nate Oates. He got $100,000 for winning the SEC tournament.
Oh.
Did he really?
I'm sure.
Oh,
he
boy.
got $100,000 for winning the regular season too. That's $200,000 he's already made. And then he got another $100,000 for making the NCAA. So that's $300,000 extra he's already made.
Yeah.
Well, I bet he's going to keep getting $100,000 if he makes the Sweet 16, and God, no telling what.
It's Final Four is the next one. He gets $200 for Final Four.
Oh boy.
And if he wins the national championship, they'll just roll up the Frank's truck.
He just got a big raise and contract extension.
He'll get some more.
A lot of people think this is Gonzaga against the field. You know, you heard Vitale mentioning that if you watched any of the Alabama games, he keeps on saying that, you know, it's Gonzaga's to win. Like, that basically he doesn't think anybody's going to play Gonzaga under 10 points. That's how good he thinks they are.
Wow.
A lot of people like Michigan if they're playing well at the time, to play Gonzaga real tough.
They got to beat Alabama first.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how Alabama, I think they're going to really, really struggle to beat Iona. And then if they get by Iona, they're going to have to play the Maryland-Connecticut winner, and that's going to be another tough game. So Alabama's in a really, really tough field. And I think if they get to the Sweet 16, they got to play Texas, I think.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Who just won the Big 12 conference championship.
That's 3 tough games right
Alabama, if they shoot the 3 good, or they're red hot from 3, they'll win. If they're not, they'll lose.
You need some.
All right. You're right now.
Mike Amos is going to the games. He made that official today. Mike Amos is heading up to watch Alabama play.
I'm going to see Bennett.
Beat Iona by 20 points or more. You can write it down.
Oh, I'll take that bet. I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm going to write it down. I'm writing it down literally. UA will beat Iona by 20 or more.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put a date to
You got to
it.
realize, Patino was going to slow it down. He's going to play his zone. And if Alabama's not making the shots, Alabama's going to struggle.
Yeah.
They'll beat the crap out of them. You watch.
We got to be careful
there, because I feel like Alabama coming off. I mean, this is a brutal stretch. You know, they win the SEC regular season, then they play every game in Tennessee. I mean, their legs should be back by Saturday, but they played a lot of intense basketball down the stretch. I think the first round is going to be tough.
And Alabama lost one of their starting guards to a knee injury.
What happened?
Yeah, Josh Primo is hurt. The kid out of Canada that can really shoot the 3.
Oh, me. Will he play or not?
It's questionable. He sprained the knee, and they said maybe he'll be back, but if not this week, if they make it to the Sweet 16, he might have a better chance. But he's
a week from today, and Alabama will be in the Sweet 16.
all right. That's what winners are made of.
Well, I tell you what, if they don't make it to the Sweet 16, there'll be a postseason choke. I mean, I think Alabama fans will be happy with the Sweet 16, but if they don't do anything better than that, they will definitely look at the season and say, how in the world does this team, win the SEC championship and the conference championship and only make the Sweet 16? It'd be brutal.
That happened the last time Alabama was the number 2 seed. I think they struggled in their first round win, and then they got beat in the second round. That's all anybody remembers is the tournament. That's this. Everybody likes these playoffs, but all anybody cares about is how you do in the tournament. So this regular season stuff and conference tournament stuff is forgotten pretty soon if you are a bomb or bust in the tournament.
So did y'all talk about Emmanuel Henderson, the kid out of Geneva, signed with Alabama on Saturday?
A little bit, but tell us
a little
more.
bit about it.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just making sure y'all covered it. He chose Alabama over Auburn, Georgia, Clemson. 6'1", 185-pound running back. He's the number 12 ranked recruit overall in the ESPN 300 junior. Yeah, pretty amazing that for a little kid at a 2A school.
Did he have great speed? He does have great speed.
Yes.
He'll probably be in the state track meet then, won't he?
I say he's a really good basketball player. But he's a downhill runner from what I gather. So he's average size for a running back, but it sounds like he can run through ball carriers too.
I'm going to tell you my next prediction is he's going to be a receiver at Alabama.
Oh gosh.
Really?
You think so? Yep. He's 6'1", 185. You get in the college weight room program, he'll be 6'1". He'll be a Julio Jones. He'll probably be 6'1", 220, probably by the time he's a senior. He'll be a Julio.
Yeah, they say he's already.
I tell you what, Will, I don't know if he would have signed with Alabama if they said, I'm going to move you to running back.
I know.
Move you to wide receiver. Michael, he was interviewed and was asked the question, and they signed him as an athlete, is what they call it. So, wow. And he said he'll play anywhere on the field that Saban puts him.
Well, it sounds like he might be a running back like Najee that can also hurt you catching the ball.
Makes twice or three times what a running back makes in the NFL, and they last a lot longer too.
Well, that's a good point. That's true.
Oh man.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm just interested to see how 2A running back's going to play in the SEC. A little bit tougher players tackling you from a 2A school and 2A competition. That's true.
Well, that's.
I mean, my opinion on that is I would have loved to see this kid go to like IMG or something like that.
Yeah, just think he has done what he's done in Class 2A competition.
Well, that's a possibility. I've read the same stories, and that he's been invited and is considering transferring to IMG. His coach seems to be lobbying for him to stay in Hartford. I would stay in Hartford.
Yeah, I bet his coach is doing all he can.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But why go down there with all these? Everybody else is a 5-star, and you miss your senior year, and everybody in your town loves you. He doesn't need to go to the IMG Academy. I mean, he's already got a scholarship to the #1 program in America.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. I can't believe that he's this high of an overall recruit and pick throughout the country, coming out of a 2A school. That must tell you he must be the real deal. He is the real deal, Michael.
Is it just speed or what is it? I wonder.
The whole package sounds like.
But you know,
guys, Nick Saban came to his school 2 years ago when he was in the 9th grade. Now that's getting started. The greatest running back from that area before this kid is the great Saran Stacy. He's from around that Geneva area.
He's from, you're right.
You know, the stat that stands out, he broke onto the scene as a sophomore, where he just had tons of yards, but he had 6 kicks returned for touchdowns as a sophomore, punts and kickoffs in one season as a sophomore.
Well, they said he got a lot of news when he went to Troy's camp, and I think at Troy's camp he ran under a 4.4.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's real.
Well, somebody compared him to McFadden, that was the great running back at Arkansas.
Yeah, but McFadden was a beast. How much McFadden weighed? 225?
Yeah, he was a big, tall guy. You're right.
This guy's going to be big. I mean, I think I read that he's already up to 195 or 190, and you know he will be over 200 probably by the time he gets to Alabama, if he keeps that commitment to Alabama.
I tell you what, Alabama's got a lot of running backs he's going to have to jump over. They had some talented guys come in last year.
You know what? Will might be right about this wide receiver thing, because they lose a lot of their receivers, don't they?
Yep.
You know, Michael was talking about Saran Stacy. He's from Geneva, which is right down, that's 10 miles from Hartford.
That's right.
And there's an intersection up above my house in Dothan. And a drunk driver ran a red light there and hit Saran Stacy about 10 or 15 years ago. Oh, yeah. We've had him on the show, Will.
Yeah.
Seven people were killed, including his 4 children and a wife.
Yeah, he told a story on the show one day. Yeah, he miraculously survived, and he had one child that survived, and then the driver of the other vehicle died. There were 7 of them killed. Yeah, he's a preacher now. He goes and does speeches all over the country. Yeah.
No, what a
You know,
tragedy.
I heard him speak one time in Tuscaloosa, and he started the event, and after that, Franklin Graham came in after him.
Oh, yeah.
That's Billy Graham's son.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a tragedy.
Yeah,
but you know, him as a football player, he was really, really good. And then you know, he hurt his knee at Alabama and had to come back from a knee injury.
Yeah, I mean, he had alcohol and drug issues at the end of his NFL career. You know, he kind of followed the same path of Bobby Humphrey.
And then bounced back.
Mike, I don't even think he ever played in the NFL. Maybe 1 year, and that was it.
You know, there was a player not too long ago that played down in Goshen. He played at
Pelton?
No, this was a player from a little school down around Mobile. Mike, help me with this.
You talking the kid that played Leroy?
Yeah, Leroy, the kid that played at Leroy. Whatever happened to him?
Yeah.
He was supposed to be a super thing, you know.
I don't know. It might be coming into his senior year finally.
Yeah, but he was really good.
I think when he beat Goshen, he was only a 9th grader.
Yeah, that's right. But I
don't know. We'll have to find out what happened.
Yeah, he was really good. We saw him against Goshen, and he was really good. We're going to take another short break. We'll be right back.
I bet Steve didn't hear.
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Our history is woven with the stories of those we serve. At Max, we've been a good community partner for 65 years. Max is dedicated to providing dependable financial services and to supporting our communities. We volunteer our time and share our resources. As a credit union, we've returned millions of dollars back to our members, local nonprofits, and small businesses. Max is honored to be a part of your story. We look forward to serving you for years to come.
Hi, Sandy. I'm right here. Come on in.
Daddy, I'm right here. Hello, Miss Mary. I'm right here. I'm right here.
Since 1969, we've been right here because at Troy Regional Medical Center, we take these words to heart.
I'm right here. Thank you.
Remarkable people, remarkable care.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you were out. Troy Cable Security. You love them, protect them.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they say Jackson Satisfaction, they really mean it.
The Jackson satisfaction is real.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Little ways. Back to our show, and we hope that you're enjoying it. Now, here are the top 4 teams in America. If you look at the rankings, and right now, Georgia. Gonzaga with a 26-0 record. Then Michigan is number 1 in the East with a 20-4 record. In the Midwest, you've got Illinois, 23-6, and in the South you got Baylor, number 1 in the South. Baylor, 22-2. I would think would have a pretty good shot at Gonzaga.
Baylor's got a good program. How did Baylor become so good in basketball?
I don't know. Texas
They hired
Baptist school.
Scott Drew, who used to be the coach of Valparaiso. His dad was Homer Drew.
We played against that guy. You remember when we played against him?
Yeah, I used to play against him all the time. But he's a good coach, and I don't know, it being a Baptist school, they're able to recruit worldwide. They bring in players from all over the world to play at Baylor.
But you look at the state of Texas. They're bound to have a lot of players.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, I watched Baylor. The only losses they have are to Kansas, and then I think they lost to Oklahoma State in the conference tournament. So they've got a great team.
Alabama lost to Western Kentucky. They lost to Oklahoma, who's I think an 8th or 9th seed.
Lost to Clemson.
Did Clemson make the tournament?
They did.
They had to rally to beat Tennessee and had a tough game against LSU. I just don't know what team shows up. If somebody like Petty gets hot, sometimes in these tournaments you see one player that gets hot and he stays hot all through the tournament. That makes a huge difference.
But Mike, the Petty though is.
I mean, I'm going to call an upset. I like on a 12-5. I like Georgetown to beat Colorado. I definitely.
But I'll tell you this: Petty can be the greatest player in the world, but it can be the worst player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's not hitting.
No,
well,
he was awful in that tournament.
He's really inconsistent. Really inconsistent. And he came out of Mountain Brook, didn't he?
No, he came out of the school up in Huntsville that beat Charles Henderson in the state playoffs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What is that name?
Jemison or no?
Yeah, Jemison is right.
May Jemison is where he played.
Exactly. Okay.
Kevin Skarbinski
I
was.
hate it for Petty. He got all SEC, and he probably maybe could have got drafted in the late second round last year. The NBA told him to come back, and I really, for a while this year, I thought he had turned it around. I really felt like maybe he had a chance to get in that late first round as he's the all-time three-point shooter in SEC history.
I didn't know that.
Alabama is. But he's put up a lot of great numbers from the three-point line, but his overall game, he's just not good enough to play in the NBA to me.
Maybe he's improved as a defensive player, and that carries a lot of weight.
It does seem like he has got a little better defense, but he's got 2 kids already too. So I hope he gets drafted.
Name me some players out of Alabama that went on, and also at Auburn, that went on and made it in the NBA. Of course, you can remember Sprewell, and you can remember.
Sprewell had the best career.
Bug Johnson played a long time out of Birmingham. Robert Ory won 7 championships in Lucia. You go up the road to Brantley. You had Wesley and Chuck Person that played over 13, 14 years each in the NBA.
They played at Auburn.
Reginald King was a great player at Alabama for all 4 of his years, but he had a decent NBA career.
Yeah.
Derek McKee had a real good.
Yeah.
McKee had a good one.
Derek McKee was great. He played 14, 15 years at least.
Yeah, he had a real good career. Who was that guy?
Antonio McDonough played 13, 14 years.
Yeah. And he would have been even better, but he had a terrible injury early in his career, but he was looking like a all-star in the NBA, and he came back from that and kept playing, but I really think he would have been a superstar.
Yeah, his knee destroyed his whole career, but he still played a long time.
He was awesome.
Who played one of the longest and nobody ever talked about. He won a lot of championships was Keith Askins. Played with Miami Heat for several years.
Oh, Gerald Wallace, that was a phenom that played 1 year at Alabama, ended up having a long NBA career. I don't know if he's still playing, but
yeah, he played over 15 years and was an all-star with Charlotte. And he's a kid that was from Childersburg and ended up being a late first-round pick. A lot of people thought that he could have gone right away out of high school, but they had changed the rule. I went to all those Alabama games his freshman year. I mean, it was just I mean, like watching Michael Jordan in a dunk contest or something like that. I mean, his jumping ability was just insane. But Guthrie, he complained later that, Guthrie wasn't a good coach and he didn't use him the right way and almost cost him a chance to be a first-round pick. And that's why he fell so much that year.
Yeah, he didn't make a huge impact on Alabama that year. I remember. And then who was the player from Mountain Brook that was so good that blew out his knee?
No, he was the kid from John Carroll, Ronald Still.
Yeah, man, and he's who got Alabama to the Final Eight. And then the next year, I guess he blew out his knee, but he was looking like a lottery pick in the NBA, and then he goes to never even playing in the NBA. That's what can happen.
Yeah, that was a brutal injury. I remember that. This Alabama team, I will say right now, I think Quinterly's good enough to play in the NBA one day. I think Shackelford's a good enough scorer to play in the NBA one day. The majority of their younger guys, Herb Jones will play in the NBA because he's just such a great defensive player, all-around player. He doesn't have an offensive game that's very good, but I think defensively he can at least be a second-round pick.
Well, Alabama's got one guy in the pros right now from Blue Vern that doesn't score a lot of points, but he gets a lot of rebounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's on a 10-day contract right now. Dante Hall is his name.
Yeah.
But he made the NBA, and I didn't think he'd make it in the NBA. I mean, I watched him all 4 years in Alabama. The guy couldn't hit a 15-foot jumper to save his life. Everything was around the rim. But I tell you what, he must have been a good enough shot blocker, rebounder to make an NBA team. So good for him.
Spreewell is a good indication of that he wasn't a great scorer in college. He was a better scorer when he got in the pros.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Boy, he was athletic.
But he probably averaged close to 16, 17 a game his senior year. He started shooting a three.
Mike, who was a great Auburn? Of course, you had Mengelt that averaged 30 points or more a game. But who was the other guy? Johnson or Jackson or somebody?
Fast Eddie Johnson?
Yeah, it might have been.
He had
Auburn had a real good scorer, big scorer.
Mike Mitchell.
Auburn had Chris Morris. They had Chuck Person, they had Charles Barkley. They had a run there where they had a lot of great NBA players that played years in the NBA.
Wesley Person.
Chris Morris was a great player. He played several years.
Isn't that amazing?
Pros.
Going back to my kids,
Auburn's can't miss. Chris Porter is the kid that really didn't make it very long in the pros. I think Porter only played two years.
Your dad can remember Eddie Johnson.
He
played for the Hawks for a long time. He was a good player in the NBA. And then they had a player that played with him named Mike Mitchell. I think was from Dothan. He was a prolific scorer. Auburn's had some fantastic players too. Charles Barkley though closes the book.
That played on a lot of the Bulls World Championship teams on the Mobile.
Yeah. Who was that guy that scored 30 points a game for Auburn? Really a great scorer. What's his name? Jackson or Johnson? Was that who that was?
30 points a game?
They averaged a bunch at Auburn.
Well, the greatest player ever named Jackson was Chris Jackson. He averaged 30 points a game at LSU.
Okay, maybe so.
He has a moderate form of Tourette's too. I researched him when I was doing my story on Griff.
Yeah. Well, pick us out.
He became a Muslim, and he went by his Muslim name in the NBA. I can't remember what he changed it to.
I can't either. But in college, he was a phenom. I mean, from his freshman year, he was lighting it up.
James Robinson was a phenom. You remember when he came to Alabama? The buzz around him. Hollywood Robinson.
Yeah.
Then Alabama had a player from Jeff Davis that was a phenom that was.
Oh yeah, Brian Williams. Yeah, he was a great player.
I don't think he ever made it in the NBA though.
They never had great teams when he was at Alabama. They always finished right around 500.
Who was a great defensive player at Alabama that stayed in the pros for such a long time?
T.R. Dunn.
We mentioned him.
T.R. Dunn.
We mentioned T.R. Dunn, and then Keith Haskins was the same way.
Yeah. They didn't score a lot, but
they both became coaches, didn't they? In the college and pros.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the first great Alabama player to go to the NBA, I think it played maybe the first round pick or second pick was Leon Douglas.
Oh, yeah. Boy, he was great.
And he became the head coach at Stillman, I think. But, yeah, he was the star on those early C.M. Newton great teams.
Yeah. Of course, who's a great, they had great nose guard. They had great point guys that were so good. Name some of those point guys.
Point guards?
Terry Wade, Terry Connors,
yeah.
Enos Wadley.
Enos Wadley, one of the ones I was thinking about. It was, back then.
Alabama's point guard always led the SEC in assists. I remember that, whoever it was.
The city of Birmingham probably has
more players?
Probably more players out of Birmingham than most any town around.
Well, the one I remember was Enimo Watley. He was fun to watch.
Yeah, Enos Watley, yeah.
Here's Alabama players in the pros. You had Michael Ansley, who was a great, dominant big man. He was only 6'7". He played 3 years in the pros. Keith Askins played 10. David Benoit played 9. Jason Caffey played 9. Jamario Davison played 2. Leon Douglas played 7. T.R. Dunn played 14 years.
Yeah, mostly a defensive player, yeah.
How about this? Jim Farmer from Houston Academy played 5.
Yeah.
Alonzo G. played 8 years. JaMichael Green, the kid out of Montgomery, still playing in the pros. He's played 6 years now. Dante Hall's in his second year. The great Robert Ory won 7 world championships, played 16 years in the NBA.
Big shot, Bob.
Let's see, Buck Johnson played 7. Reginald Mule King played 6. Tyre Lewis, Alabama's point guard, just starting his career. Antonio McDyess played 16 years.
16 years?
Played 15. How many?
He played 16 years.
McDyess?
Yeah, 16 years with Denver, Detroit, New York, Phoenix, and San Antonio. Derek Mckee played 15 years.
Yeah.
A guy named Tony Mitchell only played 1 year. A guy named Eddie Phillips only played 1 year. James Hollywood Robinson played 7. Roy Rogers out of Linden, the big 6'10" center, played 5. Colin Sexton's into his 3rd year. Latrell Sprewell played 13 years.
Yeah.
Gerald Wallace played 14 years. Eric Washington played 4 years. Enos Watley played 11.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then the head coach of the Alabama State Hornets, Mo Williams, won a world championship with LeBron James, and he played 14 years.
Yeah, that was a long time.
I think some of those years are inflated. I think some of these guys just were in camps or played briefly in some of those years. Like Jim Farmer, I don't remember him playing 5 years in the NBA. He might have been at some point on a roster. But yeah, still that's a great list.
That's right.
And that you named some players I'd forgot about, like Eddie Phillips. Alabama always had a good point guard and a power forward type like Mule King,
exactly.
Michael Ansley, that they could throw the ball down into. Buck Johnson was skinny, but he could play a post game.
Yeah. We're going to take a short break. I'm going to be exiting the facility here for a meeting, and I'll see you in the morning with Coach Cross. So it's going to be a lot of fun, as Coach Cross is going to be here in the morning talking about the brackets and gives us a good inside look at the NCAA brackets. We'll see you then.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects